Let's kick off the year on the right note. And we need to do that by heading into the right headspace. So today, we're going to be diving into a vital conversation about building a healthy self-esteem featuring three absolutely inspiring guests. You might recognize them from last year, and they've been absolutely dedicated to their lives, and I think more importantly, empowering others.
Oh, I love that. That's the important work that we want to touch on as well. So please help me in welcoming the beautiful Candace Manuel, a champion of body positivity and women empowerment. We also have another Candace, that's Candace Lynn Christians, a digital creator committed to self-improvement, and then a familiar face also around these parts, Cameron Cleaver, an athlete focused on health and motivation.
Yeah, absolutely grateful to have you here. How are we doing in the new year?
Awesome.
Good.
Do you guys get a chance to actually refresh, recalibrate and ground yourselves, or was holiday time just like chaos and busyness?
Sure. We're probably on the new year, new me vibe now. So.
Yes.
We're glowing, looking fresh, looking new. I mean, Candace's, I'm going to say in general. We got to delve into that first. I mean, Candace, your background, you've been inspiring for me watching your journey online for so many years. I think regardless of your size, you can take something from the work that you put out there, and that is being championing body positivity. So from big to small, from tall to short, you're just saying embrace you because you are beautiful as is. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think there's such a perception about, especially with the whole new year, new me type of vibe, where you feel like when you reinvent yourself, you need to hit the diet as quick as possible.
Right.
And self-love is just about having an holistic approach. It doesn't necessarily mean being a certain size. It's just like loving yourself holistically. With your self-improvement can start from affirmations in the mirror and just like training your mind to believe that you are as beautiful as you are.
Wow, that is powerful. Training the mind.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like unlearning all those things that you've been told about yourself that aren't necessarily true, right? I mean, I see you guys nodding over here.
We've been there.
Done it, worn the t-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you agree with that, Candace?
I agree with what Candace is saying. I think that mindset is everything, and your mind is so powerful. I think if you look at the athletes in this world, what helps them excel and what helps them become the best at what they are is the powerful mindset. The affirmations, affirming themselves and saying, I am powerful, I am strong, I am bold, I can do this. Despite what anybody else says, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it and nobody's going to stop me.
I love the conviction. It's like it's happening with or without you. This bus is leaving. Candace Christians, or CC, you've seen that we have two Candaces here today. You're obviously a digital creator, and what I've seen in the past has, I don't know, it's mixed emotions when you look at what's been put online, the authenticity or inauthentic content that's going out there. You, however, are placing a big focus on what I think is self-improvement at its finest. Why is this an important sort of archetype to delve in and to essentially showcase with your audience when there's so much other hype that can really gravitate towards getting us locked in on?
I think that the most important thing to focus on is there's so many people that go through a lot of trauma and they go through a lot of internal things that they don't necessarily expose to the world. And I think that everyone has this perception that everyone needs to be perfect. Everyone's lives is, of course, very perfect, but that is far from the truth. And what I've realized is I myself was in imposter syndrome back in the days when we used to blog. I used to be a blogger. So those things do encapture and engulf you as a human being because you try to fit into a box and you want to be liked and you are literally just conforming to what other people want from you or what they want to see from you. But at the end of the day, you end up losing yourself. And that's what happened to me. I ended up losing myself. And then I did the self-work on myself and finding vision again, realigning myself with who I am and who I know that I am and not what people think that I am and want me to be. It's more who I am and who I know I am to be. You know?
Celebrate that as well.
And I think that is so important. I think there is not enough out there that is going around saying, you know what? I need to work on myself. I need to become the best version of who I am. And even though yesterday wasn't the perfect day, today I can strive to be better than I was yesterday. And I think that's most important because I think that learning, growing and evolving as a human being is very important. I mean, we are like seeds.
Yes.
So you plant us, you water us, and we grow. People then pick from us, pick from our tree, and they eat from it. And I think that is how how we evolve as people. People see us learning, growing, and evolving, and they then are inspired by us. They feed off us, and that's how they grow. So we actually planting seeds of greatness into other people's lives without even knowing it.
Wow.
Candice, you dropped your seeds on the floor. Can we just eat that up right now?
I mean, I even want to continue along that metaphor because that's absolutely stunning. It's also about the soil that you get planted in, which speaks to the environment. And you got to make sure that that's a healthy one too.
Yes.
I mean, Cameron, I'm going to bring this over to you and speak about the environment that we find ourselves in society when it comes to men and the expectations that people place upon you. And you wanting to maybe be outside that box, but you're not sure where and how. When it comes to self-esteem and men, I mean, what is that conversation like? Men don't cry, they say, but is this the truth? I mean, can you speak
No, not at all. Firstly, I don't know how I go after that. But yeah, I think what both Candices actually touched on was authenticity and that imposter syndrome where we all, social media is a highlights reel.
Yeah.
So we're putting out what we want the world to see. And it comes across as very boring and pragmatic, but especially with what I do, it's to keep people happy.
Yeah.
Keep the sponsors happy, keep this happy. But people love you for you and the person you are. And no matter how you look or how you want to look, you can get there, but it doesn't make you happy and it doesn't necessarily give you confidence. You can have a bigger person that is so much more confident than a lean, ripped person because you haven't worked on yourself. So a lot of people are training for vanity rather than sanity. So if you're getting into the gym and training for you and you're doing it for you, then you're doing it for the right reasons. And I think a lot of men, we brought up to be masculine, very masculine, walk it off. Boys don't cry, that sort of thing. But I think that's where a lot of the problems come in, and that's where mental health problems come in, because as men, we don't talk. Women have learned to talk. I'm very lucky. I've got a lot of amazing girlfriends in my life, and we manage to talk about things. But the big thing's talking. It's not just exercising, but it's talking, finding your community, whether it's a fitness community or community of friends. That's what you need to find.
Yeah, and I think that community is so much more powerful when you really have that opportunity to express. And I absolutely resonate with what you're saying. Coming from a world where you just had to eat concrete and move on, it's really good to know that what's trending is the popularity of good, authentic conversation. I think that's what we're echoing right now. And I think further to your point, Cameron, we have these sort of aesthetic goals that we almost try to root ourselves in. And we want to be that person so badly that we focus so much on the physical that we forget about what's inside. Candice, you're someone that's an absolute advocate for this, showing us that it doesn't matter what shape or what size you come in, there's far bigger and deeper beauty within. How do we, in this day and age where everybody's looking still at that external, how do we ignore what people are thinking and showcase the real beauty within? I know it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, it's so much easier said than done because social media has also completely taken over with our kids' lives as well, where there's unattainable beauty standards that's put out there. And I think since I've had this mindset before becoming a mom, but I think when my daughter was born, it also made me realize I would never want to put something out there and then making her believe that a folded face with no pores or, Facetune in my body, like that would be the beauty standard she would need to follow. So I guess it's just owning your space and blocking out the noise, as they say, which can be really hard on social media.
A lot of noise out there.
But, I've gotten to a space where like he says, you want to keep the sponsors happy and your brands happy. You get into a space where it's also, but I need to keep myself happy as well. And my mother-in-law has always said this to me, social media is so short-lived. I look back on it one day, I want to realize that once all these apps has phased out, that I still have a real life back home with a real family and a real me, not a Facetune me that's on social media. So yeah, that's definitely what I strive for.
Oh, and we're striving for some incredible conversation, and that box is being ticked so much by our expert panel. I can't thank you enough for coming through a new week, a new year, and I think this is new incentive for all of us to capitalize on the beauty that we have within. So kudos to our incredible panel and to all of us that are really trying the most to bring our authenticity out. But if you stick around your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we're going to show you just exactly how to do that with ease.
Yes.